Well, it's a pleasure, as always, to be joined now here on GCR by a man who, of course, is the greatest player in the history of the University of Maryland basketball program, pride of our city, pride of Calvert Hall. And he's taken on a new role this summer as he is now the head coach of Team Shell Shock, who will be playing in the basketball tournament in July. It is a pleasure, as always, to welcome back to the show Juan Dixon. Juan, it's Glenn. It's always good to catch up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us. We really appreciate it.
Hey, Glenn, I appreciate you having me, man.
There's so much that I want to cover with you about this one because I have sensed, and I know this is something you can speak to, that in the aftermath of everything that happened with the University of Maryland and Kevin Willard and his departure and Damon Evans and his departure, I heard from a lot of alumni who said, we want to be more involved. We want to have more ownership. And I've gotten the sense that everything about Team Shell Shock and being back in the basketball tournament this year might be a reflection of that. Can you speak to that for you? Because I know we saw you at Buzz's press conference, how important this is for you, not just for the tournament, but for a group of alumni wanting to surround the program again and help lift this program up.
Yeah, Glenn, it's very important. Just over the years since Coach Williams retired, I don't think a lot of former players felt like they were a part of what Maryland men's basketball was doing. And it's nothing against Turgeon or nothing against Willard, but we also have to show a united front to the head coaches that we're here to support them and help them feel as comfortable as possible. And with this TBT Shell Shock, that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to uplift our program when it comes to the former players, all these greats that came to the University of Maryland, to form this coalition to do something special when it comes to Maryland basketball. Letting everyone know, whether it's alumni, student body, fans, administration, that the former players love Maryland athletics. We love Maryland as an institution, but we really, really worked hard during our times as Maryland basketball players to help this rich program get to where it is. So we're here to support Coach Buzz in any way we can. And we want to just show folks that we're going to show a united front as former players when it comes to the support of Maryland basketball.
I'll admit, one of the things I didn't know about Shell Shock and TBT is there's actually an opportunity for you guys to raise some NIL money that can go towards the program, correct?
Yeah, that's the goal, man. That's all these former players that came through, alumni, get everybody feel. We want everyone to feel like they're a part of this coalition, what we're building with this brotherhood. And the goal eventually is to assist with NIL when it comes to Maryland basketball, going out, getting some of these best players throughout college basketball and in high school.
Juan, is that something that when when the guys started reaching out to you and you started reaching, obviously you're Juan Dixon, right? Like a lot of stuff goes through you. But like when you started reaching out to other guys, did you feel like sort of a groundswell of more guys wanting to be involved, willing to be involved, that like everything that happened has led to a push of we've got to do more for this program right now?
Absolutely, Glenn. And it started with Nima Omidbar. He started this Shell Shock organization a few years ago. And Matt Rado and Dave Neal, they have assisted Nima up until this point. And then from there, Matt and Dave Neal reached out to me and Nima, and they talked about me coming on board, being a head coach. And then they reached out to all the other former players, Joe Smith, Byron Mouton, Audrey Collins, Sean Mosley, and Travis Garrison. Now it trickles down to us getting former players to understand the bigger picture when it comes to competing in the TBT. Yes, do we want to go out and win? Yes. Do we want to show folks that we have Maryland guys that want that has a future in coaching? Absolutely. But most importantly, it's about building this brotherhood out, this coalition, so that we're all working towards a common goal, and that's helping Maryland basketball to achieve another national title. That's what this is all about. It's simply about helping Maryland basketball elevate to a top 10 program consistently year in and year out. And hopefully we can help Coach Buzz and his team win a national championship in the near future.
You can find out more by going to shellshocktbt.com. And Juan mentioned a number of those other alumni, Chris Wilcox, Gravis Vasquez. A lot of those guys are going to be participating in a celebrity golf tournament, which is coming up. You can find more information. We'll link it up on our Twitter account as well, at Glenn Clark Radio, by going to shellshocktbt.com and clicking on golf tournament. It's going to be an awesome day, a chance for you to play alongside some of the greatest players in Maryland basketball history. So encourage you to go check that out. It's on Monday, July 14th at Whiskey Creek. Juan Dixon is with us here on GCR. Juan, you referenced the coaching thing, because I know that was uniquely Len Elmore brought that up, needing to have Maryland representation on staff. And I know at the moment that's not the case. But is that part of the story, is that this could be a springboard to show, hey, there are alumni, and obviously you've been on staff before. We, of course, know that you were the coach at Coppin State for years, that there are alumni that can be helpful on staff. And is that an important thing that the alumni base wants to see happen moving forward with the program?
No doubt. Len wrote an unbelievable letter referencing that we do need former players involved in the program. But we all know as former players that this program is Buzz Williams' program. Buzz Williams is going to do what's best for his program, his players, and the future of Maryland basketball. So I don't want anyone to think we're trying to force our way to be part of Coach Buzz's team. We just want to let folks know that we have Maryland former players out here coaching, doing a hell of a job. You think about what Dwayne Simpkins did. Dave Dickinson has been in the business for many, many years, and he's over at Ohio State. I know when I think about John Auslander, who's over at Towson, who I coached with for many years at Coppin State. So, and then, and Steve Blake, and of course, I want to get involved, Andre Collins. So it's coaches out here that's more than capable of helping Maryland basketball get back to the level where Coach Buzz wants it to. So it's just a matter of us coming together, working as one, support one another, and hopefully in the future, Coach Buzz trusts us enough to know that we are about his vision. We want to be a part of his team. So there's no doubt that when it comes to coaching, Glenn, it's my purpose. It's my passion. It's my why. I was very fortunate to play basketball for many years. But when it comes to understanding the game, understanding young people, working hard, I know what it looks like. Dave Dickinson knows what it looks like. Simpkins, Auslander, I could go on down the line. We all know what that looks like. So whenever that happens in the future, it's great. But yes, with TBT and the Shell Shock, we're going to show that we're willing to work as one, but at the same time, put these coaches out there, put these players out there that we can compete, and coach at a high level.
I know, obviously, Keith Gatlin knows a thing or two about coaching, which we're seeing with Aaron Wiggins, right?
Exactly.
In the NBA Finals, right? Which is a very cool thing.
It's so many names. It's so many names.
Oh, I know.
It's so many names.
I know. Juan, I wonder, just from the conversations you had, I mentioned, obviously, you made your presence known at that press conference and showed your support. Have you had conversations with Coach Buzz? Do you get a sense for how receptive he is to the alumni community and how much he wants you guys to be involved moving forward?
I had a brief conversation with him. I did express to him that I would love to be a part of his team and what he's building at Maryland. But Coach Buzz has been busy getting his staff together. He's been busy getting his roster in order. Right. That's important. The college basketball is at a different place than it was when I played. So he had to find 13 to 15 new players. All right. And we understand how busy he is. We all understand he has a a fifth assistant coach position still available. Would I love to be a part of that? Absolutely. With Grievous or Blake down
Yeah.
the line? Absolutely. But we're going to do what's best for our program. We're going to do what's best when it comes to the support of Coach Buzz and helping him get to a place where Maryland basketball is respected as one of the top 10, top 20 programs in the country year in and year out. That's what we're all about. We're about the student athletes, helping them develop at a high level, not just on the floor, but however we can assist as former players off the floor when it comes to their development.
Juan, I know earlier this morning you guys made some player announcements for the team that's going to be playing in July, and two of my absolute favorite people. One a Baltimore guy. It's kind of cool how this works, right? Like it's almost like a Juan and Lonnie thing. Baltimore
Right.
and DMV as you bring in both Daryl Morcell and Melo Trimble. Knowing these guys the way that you do, and knowing the types of players they are and what they've accomplished in their own pro careers, how exciting for you. I know there's still more that you're going to be adding to the team, but knowing you've got those two guys, how important is that for what you guys are going to be able to do in the tournament?
It's very important. Those two guys are legends when it comes to Maryland basketball. They left it all out on the floor. We all know what Melo and Daryl have done over the years. But most importantly, those guys are still playing pro basketball at a high level. I know Melo just won his second championship in a row in Russia. A big part of them having success, winning MVP. Everything we're doing, TBT, it's going to be predicated around putting the right pieces around Melo Trimble, around Daryl Morcell. Of course, we want to continue to add former players and legends to this roster. But, we need to step out and get people who've been citizens in Maryland, like Anthony Tark, who I coached at Coppin State for many years, played in the NBA. B. Fobbs over at Towson, Brian Fobbs over at Towson. Like, we have an opportunity to build an unbelievable roster and go out and compete for $1 million. And I'll go as a staff, myself, Joe Smith, John Oslander, Andre Collins, Byron Mouton, Ken Oslander. We want to put these young men in positions to be successful, make sure they compete at a high level on both ends of the floor, and go out and win games. Because towards the end of July, Glenn, TBT is pretty much the only basketball on outside of the WNBA. It's going to be folks watching TBT, and Melo Trimble could get an opportunity on the NBA roster. You just never know. I remember coaching Mike James many years back in the TBT, and he ended up on the NBA roster after that summer. So anything can happen. We're looking to put a great product on the floor, play a high-level brand of basketball on both ends, and see what happens.
I would add, for people that never watched the TBT before, it was my first introduction to the Elam ending. I was glued. Like, I've known Daryl since he was 15 years old, right? And so when he played the last time around, and he actually had an Elam ending game winner in that tournament, I was mesmerized by it, right? Like, to me, the Elam ending is like the cool. I miss buzzer beat. Like, I know that buzzer beaters are like the coolest thing in basketball, but it gives you almost like a guaranteed buzzer beater every game. I don't know if you've ever been involved, with anything else. I know the basketball tournament is the big one, but what have your thoughts been about the Elam ending? Do you like it? Do you feel like it has maybe room to grow in basketball?
Oh, no, Glenn. I've been a part of the Elam ending. I told you I was fortunate enough to coach Mike James and Kyle Hines, that unbelievable team back in 2019. We made it to the Final Four in 2019, lost to a really good Marquette team. But Mike James hit a couple buzzer beaters, Elam enders, like, we needed one more point and we're up one, and he's whapping a pull-up, fading, going left. So the Elam ending brings a different excitement to the end of the game. It takes the intensity to another level.
Yeah.
Because if you're down by 8 going into the Elam ending, you still have an opportunity, if you can string together 3 stops in a row, 4 stops in a row, you still have a chance to win that game. I love it. Comes down to execution and winning on the defensive end, for sure.
And obviously you can't just foul, right? Like the stuff that people always complain about late in the game, right? Like it goes on forever. No, you just go play basketball. Like we just play basketball.
Right.
Try to play defense. Try to get stops. which is amazing. All right, I have to ask Juan because everybody's freaking out about the possibility. Have you and Steve talked at all? And I know Corey gets to make his own decisions. I know that's how it goes. You're not going to force him to go to Maryland. But has that thought crossed your mind that if Steve's son Nick stays at Maryland, that maybe that could be a really cool thing? That if somehow your sons could reunite on the same time, I know it'd still be a couple years from now, but has that thought crossed your mind at all?
Yeah. Glenn, that will be wild, right? You talk about full circle. I'm so happy for Blake and his family. I was actually, Corey, we got an opportunity to meet them. They were down in, I think it was Memphis, playing in the basketball tournament as well. And it was just damn, man, it'd be crazy if Corey gets an opportunity to play alongside Nick and those guys put on a Maryland jersey. And I know I would have tears coming out my eyes, but we on our end, we have a long way to go.
I get it.
I'm just literally, I wake my boys up every morning. We in the gym 5:30 in the morning. We get in the gym, get in the weight room, and we just getting home. So Corey understands the work he needs to put in to get to that level, and he has to earn the trust of Coach Buzz and his staff because Coach Buzz players compete at the highest level.
Yep.
They play hard, but you also need to be talented and play the game the right way on both ends of the floor. So it's a process that we trust, and I do believe that Corey will be high major when all said and done.
I love that. I know a lot of people talked about Obina Keezy's son is also in the mix at the moment, which would be, my God, how cool.
Him and Corey, same class.
How cool would that
Corey.
be? Oh, man, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Juan, I love this, and anything that we can do to support what you guys are doing, we can't wait to see. Again, get to the golf tournament and find out more by going to shellshocktbt.com. Click on the golf tournament link. We'll link it up on our Twitter and support what they're doing. And then, of course, down at the JMU Regional starting on July 18th for Team Shell Shock. Juan Dixon, this is awesome. I think a lot of Maryland basketball fans are really fired up about it. We can't wait to see it and look forward to talking to you more about it as we get a little bit closer. As always, thank you for spending time with us this morning. Yeah, please, by all means.
Absolutely. Glenn, real quick, please go sign up for this golf tournament. It's going to be a huge deal. Right now, we already have 30 legends coming back to play golf. We're going to be in foursomes. Some of us play golf. Some of us don't. But we're out there to have a great time. We're out there to have a great time. And understand we're raising money for this Shell Shock TBT and try to get great players to come back and play for us. When it comes to coaching and managing the team, it's about our passion. When it comes to giving back and paying it forward, all right, and then us coming together under one shell at the University of Maryland. That's what it's about.
It's awesome stuff. Juan Dixon, you're the best. Thank you for taking the time for us, man. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, Glenn. Talk soon.